Right, so just touch upon your scales. So E minor with the D, F sharp first, and then the C to the D sharp, then the F sharp again, and then C to D sharp. There's the F sharp, and then remembering the D sharp. Okay. Now this one can cause problems for people, E minor. Something about it, I don't know. I think it's this particular part of the scale where you go from C to D sharp. So just have a good look at that and try and get that picture fixed in your memory. So you've got white note C, D sharp, and you've got D missing in the middle, all right? So that when you get to that note or that part of the scale, you are more familiar with it. Then the F sharp, and here it is again. It's the gap between the C and the D sharp. So really try and get that picture in your mind of what that looks like. And then of course you do it in the left hand as well. The fingers are a bit easier in the left hand, I think, than the right hand. So maybe the C to the D sharp may not be quite so difficult in the left hand, I don't know. F sharp, E, D sharp, C. Okay. So at the beginning of the scale, you start with your F sharp, and then the D sharp comes at the top. But then of course, when you go into the second octave, the F sharp comes quite close to it. So if you're doing a 2-octave scale, you've got your F sharp and your D sharps, but there they are quite close together. And you talked about a bridge. Well, it is, but it isn't, because you do have to play E in the middle of those two. So you don't go straight to there, you go to E first and then, but it's remembering that the two black keys are quite close together. So just not to forget them. And then the other thing you did today was D major arpeggio. So it does include the black key, F sharp, D, F sharp and A. The right hand fingering isn't altered. It's still 1, 2, 3, swing right under to the D, 3, 2, 1. Miss 2 white notes to find the A. Okay. The left hand we talked about, because of the positioning between that white and black key, that's quite a big gap there. So putting the 4th finger puts a bit of a strain on the fingers. So we tend to use the 3rd finger instead. So use the 3rd finger on the F sharp, but still the 2nd finger on the A. Okay. But if you then played C major arpeggio, it's a smaller gap. So we use the 4 and the 2 in the left hand. So there are 2 possible fingerings for the left hand arpeggios. Your dozen a day, I'd like you to really work at this hard trick to try and get each section to move on to the next one without hesitating or stuttering at all. If you find the staccato too confusing, just concentrate on getting it smooth and fluent with legato. So you start with your scale. While you're counting this semi-breve, think about where you're going. You're going an octave higher in the left hand and an octave higher in the right hand. So you could already be getting your brain round that while you're counting. Okay, and now you've got to look. I've got to go down an octave in both hands. Get this turn here, so you can go straight into the contrary motion. Turn to come back down. Alright, it's a really good exercise, this one, and it sounds nice if you can play it fluently, so work at that. Fit as a Fiddle was okay. Just practice those chords first. To to get the exercise so that it flows a little bit more easily.